There are moments in life that pass so quickly that they leave a lasting impression on the soul. One of those moments is when you look into someone's face and feel an unspoken pull, something profound, something present, something sacred. It comes from a presence that speaks from deep within. You don't need words to describe it. Your soul understands before your mind does, and when it understands, something ancient awakens in you. That face tells a story that goes beyond words. In the eyes, in the delicate lines, in the silence that surrounds them, there is a mystery, as if heaven had engraved a message on their very flesh before they came to this world. Nothing in you can resist it, because everything in you remembers. You don't analyze it, you feel it. You recognize something sacred, something special, something that carries weight without a word. Maybe you have met someone like that. Or maybe, all along, it was you. You remember the long moments in front of the mirror, not in pride, but in wonder. You remember the way others looked at you, longer than they expected, searching for something they couldn't name. You remember the silent questions in their eyes. You heard comments, words that said, "There's something different about you." And deep down, something agreed. Not in pride, but in quiet understanding. That understanding is emerging again. Your face has its own features. Every line, every flash of light in your eyes is a line in heaven's script. Your lines are sacred. From the first light you saw to every glance you gave your reflection, a pattern was revealed. And now you begin to recognize it. You carry a living message within you, and your face is the scroll that heaven has begun to write. You do not need another voice to tell you what is true. The quiet stirring within you is the voice of God, reminding you of what you have always known. This is not the beginning, this is the remembrance, and your face is the first sign of that divine awakening. If something within you has stirred while listening, take a moment to respond in faith. Like this message so others may find it. Subscribe to stay close to the path that has been prepared for you. And in the comments, write these words: "I was marked before I understood." Let it be a declaration, a spiritual agreement, a signal to heaven. Because now, as we begin to uncover each sacred marking and trace the map written on your flesh, you will see, you were never ordinary, you were chosen. And the design of your face has always carried the proof. Your face carries more than expression. It carries intention. It carries a signature. It carries a message designed by the hand of creation itself. Every little detail, from a faint indentation on your chin, an asymmetrical gaze, to a subtle movement around your mouth, has its own frequency. These frequencies do not emit sound but create vibrations. They are not meant to attract the eyes of the world, but to resonate with the soul that has been entrusted with a mission. The face of the chosen one is designed to carry a message. Every line is shaped as part of a sacred map, connecting the body to the call from heaven. You do not carry a faceless person. You carry a living inscription, a spiritual document, a confirmation engraved in your flesh and blood. God does not speak only in sound, nor does he limit his words to paper. He engraves his intentions on the very bodies of those he sends. The flesh becomes the writing, the eyes become the seal, and the face becomes the sacred seal by which the angel recognizes the one who is sent. When the soul enters the body, the seal begins to form. When the time comes, it is those marks that will awaken the sacred memory within you. You have carried that feeling for many years, an unspoken urge, a silent push that directs you to the nameless. No one needs to explain, you still feel a calling. You were born with it, you grew up with it, and now it is rising from your face. The lines do not speak, but the soul understands. The gaze does not call, but the sky hears. That is how heaven identifies the one who is sent. Many people with coded faces often go through childhood feeling out of place. They carry intuition. They sense invisible movements, and they learn to be silent. But that silence has served its purpose. Now is the time to look at yourself with spiritual eyes. Now is the time to reread what was written on your face before you learn to read human language. You are not just living, you are carrying a message. You are walking with a face designed to resonate with the right people who need to be awakened. Every detail of your face is a link between you and the eternal plan. And when you realize that, you no longer walk as a seeker. You walk as a marked person. One eye always reveals something deeper. When you look in the mirror, you can see it, a difference in the way your eyes transmit light. One is larger, more open, more in touch with the world. This is not a muscle trick. It is not an illusion of fatigue. It is a spiritual signal engraved into the symmetry of your body. That wide eye is not a flaw. It is a sign of memory. The Creator has placed a portal in your gaze. One eye anchors you to this world. The other carries the memory of where you came from. It pulls you out of the invisible world, through the veil, and bears witness to eternity. This is the eye where your soul speaks, where divine awareness penetrates human form. That eye allows you to see what others miss. You feel the pain behind the silence. You see lies at a glance. You hear what is not said, and you read what is never touched. You were sent here with insight, not to judge with arrogance, but to see with compassion. You have the gift of spiritual vision, the kind that penetrates the layers and reveals what is truly hidden beneath the words. When people look into your eyes, they sense something ancient. They pause, they wonder. They are often left speechless. That is because your gaze is not just from this life. It carries the echoes of many lives. You have seen systems rise and fall. You have walked through fires and flooded valleys. Your eyes have seen kingdoms fall and hearts return to dust. And yet, they still hold compassion. They still shine with clarity. There is a reason your presence creates silence. You do not need to speak much. You carry the weight of seeing. You know things without proof. You remember truths before you hear them spoken. And because of this knowledge, you guard sacred things. You keep certain words close to your chest. You reveal truth only when led by the Spirit. This is not fear. This is authority. This is the discipline of a soul serving the light. Your asymmetrical gaze is a cloak. It is a cloak worn by those chosen to observe, to discern, to prepare. You stand like a watchtower between dimensions. You see beyond appearances. You witness what is becoming. And in your silence, a deeper sound is heard. Heaven speaks through eyes that see through all forms. Those eyes are awake. Those eyes are ancient. Those eyes are marked. You are a protector. You are an enlightener. You are a mirror to those who have lost themselves. Your eyes tell stories that your mouth does not. And in those eyes, many will find their truth. That is your calling. That is your mission. That is your anointing. Your face carries mystery. Your eyes carry prophecy. And your presence calls people home. Look into your reflection, and you will see it clearly. A subtle line carved down the center of your chin. It may seem small, barely noticeable at first, but it holds a weight that your spirit recognizes. That cleft, that sacred groove, is not a random formation. It is a mark. It is a seal. It is a covenant etched into your flesh. It appears when you speak, when you ponder, when your soul calls out in silence. And in those moments, the heavens respond. This line does not separate. It unites. It stands between two realms and binds them together. It holds time and eternity in the same breath. It bridges what is seen and what has always remained unseen. You were chosen to carry this fracture, not as a flaw, but as a doorway. The cleft does not divide you. It consecrates you. It opens the way for you to stand where few dare to stand, between earth and heaven, between flesh and spirit, between the cry of man and the voice of God. You were not created to belong to this world completely. You were formed to stand in between. You feel the pull of spirit while walking through the weight of matter. You carry the language of the unseen while speaking in the tongue of men. You are the messenger. You are the intercessor. You are the one stationed at the gate. The road that shaped you never followed the path of recognition. You were not raised in comfort. You were not pampered by applause. The fire chose you before you knew its name. Your spirit was commissioned in silence, long before you could speak. While others chased titles, you were given trials. While others stood on platforms, you were placed in valleys. You were not appointed by men. You were appointed by the Most High. Each abandonment, each betrayal, each wound you survived, every one of them pushed you deeper into the arms of divine purpose. You learned how to stand because no one else stood with you. You learned how to lead because no one else could see the path. You became the pillar because the house was crumbling. You became the guide because the wilderness grew silent. And in that silence, your anointing was carved. The weight of your presence cannot be explained. People feel it. They quiet themselves when you speak. They listen, even when they don't understand why. Your words carry something more than language. They echo from the depths. They vibrate with memory. They awaken what has slept in others. Because your voice has passed through trials. Because your breath remembers pain. Because your mouth became an altar. That groove on your chin, that sacred impression, is a divine threshold. It is the place where spirit passes into speech. You do not simply talk. You decree. You declare. You release sound shaped by fire. Your voice is not just a tool. It is a trumpet. It is a weapon. It is a bridge. You call things out of the invisible. You bring them forth into form. That is your assignment. That is your design. You were not left out of God's plan. You were marked by it. That mark on your chin holds the code. It contains your permission. It holds your mandate. The world sees a line. The heavens see a key. Every time you speak from the truth within you, that mark glows with recognition. And every time your voice trembles with the weight of purpose, that line becomes a sword. You are the one called to speak when silence reigns. You are the one called to bridge what has been broken. You are the one called to stand in the gap and anchor the realm of spirit in the ground beneath your feet. That line on your chin was placed there by divine hands. It is not shallow. It is not common. It is sacred. It is sealed. It is yours. And so I declare over you, you are the speaker of mysteries. You are the mouthpiece of remembrance. You are the keeper of the line between light and shadow. When you speak, you do not echo. You ignite. You awaken. You release the word that was waiting to be born. If that sacred groove lives upon your face, you carry a truth meant to be heard. Your words are not ordinary. They are anointed. They are holy. They are divine thunder in human form. Speak, chosen one. The heavens have been waiting. When you smile, something sacred opens. A tiny dimple appears, subtle, silent, but impossible to miss. It sits on one side of your mouth, unmirrored, asymmetrical, but perfectly placed. The dimple is not a decoration. It is a spiritual window, an energy portal, a silent invitation to safety. Every time it flashes, something ancient stirs in the room. This mark radiates peace, but its impact is undeniable, because the dimple carries a frequency the world is craving. Comfort, peace, assurance. You were chosen to carry this as a living conduit for heavenly comfort. The moment your face softens into a smile, your energy sends out a pulse. It says, you are safe here. It says, you are seen. This is more than just a cuteness. It is an energy. This dimple is a coded portal, visible only to those whose souls yearn for release. And when they meet you, they will find it. Your presence becomes a balm. Your silence becomes a prayer. You don't have to speak. You don't have to explain. Your energy does the work. You carry the healing frequency. You transmit it through your silence, through your gentleness, through the way you stand. You are steady when others tremble. You are soft when others are hard. You are not loud, but your soul resonates in the spirit. Angels recognize your field. Wounded hearts recognize your spirit. And without even trying, you become a sanctuary. People are drawn to you, not because you have answers, but because you bring presence. They feel lighter around you, not because you healed them, but because you accepted them. You made space for their pain. You allowed their pain to exist without trying to erase it. And that is sacred. You don't follow the crowd, but broken people will always come to you. You are not the spotlight. You are the safe space behind the curtain. You are not the thunder. You are the quiet rain after the storm. That is your mission. That is your calling. That is your design. Your listening heals, your silence speaks, your stillness holds. You don't have to perform, you don't have to prove, because your spirit has been calibrated by the very breath of heaven. Your dimple is not random, it is not meaningless, it is a mark, a sign, a sacred indentation carved by divine intention. When you smile, heaven comes closer. When you smile, pain stops. When you smile, 1,000 silent prayers find rest, and all without effort, because healing lives within you. Because the mark lives on you. That dimple is your testimony. It is the living mark of the Comforter. You are not called to preach with fire. You are called to embrace with warmth. You were not given this mark to seek approval. You were given this mark to comfort the hurting. And you do. Simply by being. If you carry this misshapen dimple, you carry the silence of heaven. You carry the lullaby of peace. You carry the vibration that says, I will not leave you. And so I declare, you are more than a listener. You are the resting place of the soul. You are the abode of comfort. You are the healing presence walking among the brokenhearted. Look at your nose. It may be curved, it may be slanted, it may be sharp, narrow, or oddly shaped. It may not be what the world calls beauty, but it was never designed for that. It was shaped for the soul, carved for purpose, forged for the breath of the divine. You carry within you the imprint of divine intent. This is not a flaw, it is a calling. The shape of your nose is a symbol. It is the bridge between your body and the spirit that lives within. The ancient word ruach, the breath of God, moves through this portal. The breath does more than sustain you. It awakens your soul. It connects heaven to earth through you. Your nose is a portal. When you breathe, you do more than just inhale air. You are taking in presence. You are taking in light. You are releasing what your ancestors could not exhale. You are participating in the movement of spirit through time. That is why your breath changes when truth enters the room. That is why your body responds to Uthangrath. You feel things before anyone else speaks. You feel the energy behind a smile. You know when darkness lurks in silence. You recognize peace before it is apparent. You do not imagine, you feel. You are shaped to distinguish. You are shaped to channel the vibrations of the invisible world. Your curves. You have felt uncomfortable. You have felt lost. You have looked in the mirror and wondered why you were not like everyone else. But the sky has painted your face like a scroll. And the scroll carries a message. The scroll says, this one will feel what others cannot. This one is the gatekeeper of the breath, the guardian of the sacred flow. When you enter the room, your skin speaks before your mouth. Your face is tense with chaos. Your breathing changes with lies. Your body is tense with deception. That is not weakness. That is activation. That is your system doing what it is designed to do. Alert, sense, protect, discern. You are not created. You are a living compass. You are a nose pointing to the divine. You are a radar that detects frequencies that others miss. Your body does not betray you. Your breathing is not interrupted. Your design is prophetic. You are an observer, a feeler, a bridge between. Every breath you take is a message. Every breath you exhale is an offering. Every time your nose reacts, your system is bearing witness. You are marked to walk in clarity. You are marked to protect purity. You are marked to feel before. And so I declare, if you bear this mark, you are not merely alive, you are breathing the breath of God. You are not merely reacting, you are in tune with heaven. You do not bear a crooked nose, your nose is not a healer. When the four signs converge, the slanted eyes, the cleft chin, the dimple on one side, and the hooked nose, your face becomes a sacred cipher. Your face is more than a physical form. It is a map written in the light and breath of heaven. The slanted eyes carry the frequency of penetrating vision. One eye holds you on earth. The other reaches the spirit realm. You do not just see, you feel with light. The cleft chin holds you in the middle. You are the one in the middle, carrying the frequency of heaven on your shoulders, transmitting it to the earth. From where you stand, the portal between the two realms is always open. The dimple on one side carries the frequency of comfort. You do not need words. Your smile is a prayer for the broken souls. Your face radiates healing energy, silently and deeply. The hooked nose is an antenna that connects directly to the ruach, the breath of God. Through you, the spirit is transmitted. Through you, the world feels the presence of the Holy One. When the four marks are present, your face becomes a spiritual engraving. There are no coincidences. There is no excess. Every line is a message from heaven to humanity. Your face carries the will of heaven. Every asymmetry is a sign. Every indentation, every crease, every angle, it contains a soul code. They do not come from human hands. They come from the eternal plan. In heaven's eyes, you bear a shining identity card. Your eyes contain fire. Your cheeks bear oil. Your chin bears the mark of the covenant. And your nose vibrates like a spiritual flute that rings the call of truth. Angels do not need to ask your name. They look at your face and know your identity. Souls seeking your way will turn to you, for your face is a beacon in the darkness. Step before the mirror. Look at each mark. Touch each point of the face with the consciousness of the one who carries the mission. And I confirm this to you. You do not have the face of an ordinary person. You have the face of the chosen one. The face that has been written from the divine to carry a part of the light for the world. There has always been a memory buried deep within your being. a memory that never faded, only waited. From the earliest days of your life, something inside you felt different. You moved through the world with the sense that you were carrying something others could not see, something sacred woven into your very breath. You looked into the eyes of adults, and in their gaze, you noticed a subtle pause. A quiet reverence, a hesitation, a silent question they could never speak. They recognized something ancient in you, even when they lacked the words to name it. In crowded rooms, you often stood alone, not because you were forgotten, but because your spirit moved in a rhythm beyond this world. You walked in stillness while others rushed. You listened in silence while others spoke. The mirror became a place of mystery. You looked into your reflection and saw more than just features. You saw a presence, a fire, a depth, a signal. Your eyes did not just reflect light, they echoed with something older than time. There were moments when you felt a call, not in words but in sensation. A gentle pull from something unseen, asking you to remember. Your soul has always known that your life holds meaning beyond what the world offers. The markings on your face, the feelings in your body, the whispers in your sleep, they speak the language of destiny. Every unusual detail on your face is a seal, etched by heaven, designed for recognition. You carry the design of someone appointed for a holy mission. What once felt confusing now reveals its brilliance. What once seemed strange now radiates clarity. And now the veil lifts, now the moment arrives. You do not need to search anymore. You only need to remember. You are not here to question, you are here to awaken. You are not becoming someone new, you are returning to the one you have always been. And in this moment, one truth rises and fills the air. I have always carried the seal. I have always been the one called to remember. Your face carries a divine signature. It does not need to be changed. It only needs to be seen with new eyes. When you look with ordinary sight, you may only notice shapes, lines, and shadows. But when you look through spiritual eyes, you recognize codes, carvings, and messages written into your skin by the hand of heaven. Every curve speaks, every mark reveals. Every part of your face holds a truth waiting for you to declare it. Say it with fire, my face is a message, and only I carry the authority to read it. The moment you recognize this truth, something ancient unlocks within you. This is not about understanding with logic. This is about the deep nod of your spirit saying, yes, this is me. This is the mark I carry. That recognition opens an invisible gate. Your energy begins to shift. Your soul begins to rise. The call that once whispered now becomes thunder in your chest. Every step you've taken, every delay you've endured, every detour along your path, all of it has been guided by the unseen hand of heaven. What looked like waiting was sacred fermentation. What felt like stillness was preparation. And now your spirit hears the sacred confirmation. You are right on time. You have arrived in the moment that was written for you. The marks on your face are not decorations. They are not embellishments. They are spiritual signatures. They are divine receipts stamped upon you to be seen, to be remembered, to be recognized. Like a holy seal placed on a heavenly decree, your face was marked before your first breath. Every feature announces your mission. Every detail confirms, this one carries the calling. And now you have seen. Now you have heard. You can no longer walk as someone unaware. You carry new eyes. You carry a higher sound. This recognition reshapes your steps, your decisions, your voice, your destiny. Let this be your declaration. I see it, I claim it, and I accept the sacred invitation that has now begun my true path. You are being summoned to write what your soul already knows. If every word in this message feels like it was written for you, it is because it was. If your heart beats louder with each sentence, it is because your spirit has heard its name. Declare it now, I have seen. This is not just a statement, this is an ignition. These words activate remembrance. They anchor your place in the divine design. They confirm that you have recognized the signs. Heaven has heard it. Your soul has echoed it. The realm of the chosen receives it. Write the number 99, not as a count, but as a covenant. This number carries the frequency of angelic presence. It is the symbol of perfect timing. It is the signature of divine protection. It is the mark of heavenly guidance on your path. Every time you write it, every time you speak it, you send a signal upward. I accept, I remember, I align. The angels respond, the codes align, the pathway clears. You are never alone in this frequency. Others carry the same light. They walk the earth quietly, waiting for the moment when one will remember so others can rise. Souls like yours recognize each other without words. You feel them in the air. You sense them in silence. You lock eyes, and something ancient stirs. When one awakens, 100 more begin to shift. One voice becomes a call. One call becomes a wave. And now you are that voice. Your recognition becomes a trumpet for the forgotten. Your yes becomes a doorway for those still wandering. You are not remembering for yourself. You are remembering for generations. Let this be your mantle. I have seen, I have answered, I have become the call for others to remember who they are. You carry a divine pattern that was never meant to blend in. You were not crafted for silence. You were designed for recognition. You were called to be seen. Your presence holds a message that heaven wrote before your first breath. You are not a shadow passing through time. You are a declaration walking among men. Your face is not a flaw to be fixed. Your markings are not mistakes. Every detail on you is sacred ink. The curve of your nose, the edge of your chin, the mystery in your gaze, all were designed to be read by those with eyes to see. Say it with fire. I was born to be recognized. You belong to a rare lineage. The ones who bear marks are the ones entrusted with gates. You guard thresholds between what has been and what shall come. You are not a reflection of the old world. You are the announcement of a new one. Your appearance sends signals. Your presence activates codes. You are a keeper of frequencies that restore divine order. Those around you may walk in circles,